In this video, we will see what is meant by Python. So, if you are looking for a programming language, so which is basically open source and object oriented, so then Python is a good option for that one. So, in this video, we will discuss the same. So, what is meant by Python and how it is formed and who has developed it first. Then we will see some of the basics for Python. So basically Python is an object-oriented programming language. So we'll discuss more on this in the next slides. Alright, so Python, what is Python? First we will see. Then a Python is an interpreted object-oriented high-level programming language with dynamic semantics. Its high-level built-in data structures combined with dynamic typing and dynamic binding make it very attractive for rapid application development. So as well as for use as a scripting or glue language to connect existing components together. So the points which I have highlighted here gives the particular meaning of Python. So Python is a programming language which can be interpreted. So it is a type of interpreted means uh, a dynamic changing of program is allowed there. So object oriented. So the meaning of object oriented is rather than discussing or focusing on the logic behind implementation, so we will directly focus on the object itself. So if suppose you are working on a big project, then it contains small quantities or small chunks there. So if you have a big team, then you will be assigning a small work to a small team. Okay, so then there comes the picture of object oriented programming, where there is no need to bother about the whole code. So whatever has given to you, you just have to make the work which is related to that particular object there. So like the program will be divided into chunks, and only that particular chunks a particular team has to develop, and it can be arranged with the whole program. So object oriented means rather than focusing on the procedure of that programming, like in C, it is a procedural language where we will be focusing on the procedure rather than the object. So it is a object oriented means it will be easy for us to implement. Then high level language. So the meaning of high level language is, so like if you take an example of 8086, that is microprocessor, there we are writing the program in terms of assembly level language. We will be writing like move r1 comma a, move r2 comma b, then add r, then add r1 comma r2. Like this we will be writing all the details there. So that is called as machine level language, where you need to mention each and every minute information about the program. But the languages which are similar to English language are called as high level languages. So if you see an Python program, then it is almost similar to English. So it is like scripting in English itself, but we will be using just some variables, some loops and some libraries. But rather than that, it is similar to the English itself. So that's why it is called as high level language. Then coming to its built-in data structures. So as it is an open source language, it has got a huge community to develop, or it has got a huge community which can contribute for the standard libraries. So what is meant by standard libraries is an a question. So let me just take an example. So if you want to add two numbers, then you will be like saying add a comma b. So if a and b are two integers, then we will be saying add a and b. So we will be writing like c is equal to a plus b. So I have just written a plus b, then where that functionality is coming from. So add is an definition which is already defined in the Python. So somebody has written the code for that add already, and it is stored in the standard libraries of Python. So when you call that add, it will be running that standard library definition, that is add definition or add a predefined library. Then it will be adding these numbers with the help of that definition. So like this, for n number of functions and arithmetics, the Python has already given the standard libraries. So that that makes the programmers work easy. So that is mean by built-in data structures, and combined with dynamic programming and dynamic binding. So dynamic program is nothing but we will be writing simultaneously. So that is will be not writing a block by block. So you can write simultaneously and the whole program will be executed simultaneously. So rapid application development for it is well and good, and then as well as for use as a scripting or a glue language to connect existing components together. So it is well suited for connecting the existing language with the previous language. So there is no platform specification for this one, so you can run this Python on any platform. So it has got many collaborations like Java and Python, Jython we can say. So with Perl, with Ruby, with C, with Pascal, so it has got many collaborations, that I can say implementations. So that those are just the modifications. So they are merging Pascal and Python and creating some other new thing which is better than Python as well as the Pascal. So Jython is better than Python and Java, so where it uses the functionalities of both Python and Java to combinedly to get a particular task done. So like this we can use it like a glue there. So that's the brief meaning of Python. So what is meant by Python and how it is used. So let me just to the advantages of Python. So what makes the Python stand apart from the row? So there are many languages we know that are existing in the market, but Python is very popular. So what makes it popular? So we know that C is a mother of all programming languages. So or else we can say the first programming language which ever produced is the C, but it is not as popular as Python. So Python and Java, Go are the some of names or the popular names which come to our mind whenever we talk of programming. So what makes them so popular? So coming to the particular Python, so first one is the easy syntax. So as I said, the other programming languages uses semantics, but the Python uses the English language itself for writing the script. So that's why it is very easy for humans to understand the program. So if you see an Python program, then anyone can easily understand. So if you have a little bit programming language or programming knowledge, then you can identify what is happening in that code basically. So then next one is the readability. So readability and easy syntaxes. So when you come to C programming, then you have got many conditions there. So if you should put a semicolon, then you have to define the variable before you use any variable. But in Python there is no need to put a semicolon, so it is left to the user. So blank spaces are considered as the end of the statement here. So if you leave large amount of blank spaces, then it may be the it is assumed it may be a end of the statement there. But in case of C, we need to put a semicolon. Then if you want to use a and b as a integer variables, then first you have to write hash include stdio.h, then the standard library, that is math. Then there are a lot of n number of things which you have to do in C programming. So you have to define a as an integer, then b as an integer, then c as a integer, then you have to use those in the main function. But in Python that is not the case. So you just take variable a and b, then so you just add those and you won't define anything. So it will directly tell you what is the data type. So it will directly take the data type depending on the value. So if it is a decimal value, it will take it as int, and if it is a floating point value, it will take it as a floating point, and if it is a character, then it will take it as a char. So that work is not needed, so that overhead for the programming is removed in case of Python. So that's why we will say Python has got easy syntax, means there is no complexity. So there is no complexity involved in the Python. Then readability, of course, as it is a high level language, anyone can read, and it is a human friendly programming language. So next point is the same, that is high level language, that is written similar to the English language. Then this is the important, so that is object oriented programming. So as I said earlier, rather than focusing on the functionality of the program, it will just focus on the, so rather function focusing on the procedure of the program, it will just focus on the functionality of program. So what the user actually wants to build with this program, so it will focus on that one, and depending on that one we will be writing the program. So a large program will be divided into small chunks, and those will be implemented, then they will be combined together to form a complete program. So that's the meaning of object oriented programming. Then it's a open source and free. Yes, it is also an interesting feature. It is a open source, then you can get the source code for all the programs or versions which are released by the Python Foundation, and then it's a free. So unlike the MATLAB and other programming languages which charges for the use, so this is a type of open source and free. So HFSS, MATLAB, all other programming languages that is used toolkits, I can say, they are pay, and they are like, they are not free. So Python is free, so that's why it stands out of the row. Then cross platform. So the what is meant by cross platform is, so it can run on any device. So if I take the Python code and run it on the Java compiler, and then it will run. So if you run it on the Arduino, then it can run. So it is a cross platform type of programming language where there is no need to have a Python development environment itself, so it can run on any platform, and widely supported. So of course it will be widely supported because it is a open source, so it has got a huge community for its development. And then extensible. So the meaning of extensible here is that, so you have got a source code for this Python, then if you can do something which is better than the existing version of this Python, then you will be awarded as a contributor or the developer of this Python. So extensible means you can change the source code according to your application. So if you don't like something in Python, then you can take the source code and then modify it with the with your convenience, or with your convenient way. In your own way you can modify the Python program and then use it for your application. So there is no restriction on you that you should use like this only. So you can modify the code. So that's why it is called as open source programming. So that's all about the advantages of Python. So rather than this, there are n number of other advantages, I can say, but they are not important, so that's why I have not listed. So I hope you like this video and found it useful. So if you are new to the channel, please guys hit the like button and subscribe the channel for more updates. And thanks for watching.